Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to investigate the concept of non-duality in Islam Sufism. Islam Sufism is a mystical branch of Islam that emphasizes the direct experience of God or the divine through spiritual practices such as meditation, contemplation, and devotion. Non-duality is a central theme in Sufism, and it is expressed through various terms and concepts that emphasize the unity of God and the oneness of creation. Let's begin by exploring the concept of tawhid. Tawhid is the Islamic concept of the oneness of God. It emphasizes the idea that there is only one God, and that all things are created by God and are ultimately one with God. This concept is often expressed through the Arabic phrase, La ilaha illa Allah, which means, there is no God but God. This phrase is considered to be the core of the Islamic faith, and is recited in the Muslim profession of faith. From a Sufi perspective, tawhid is not only a theological concept but also a spiritual experience. Sufis believe that through spiritual practices, one can directly experience the oneness of God and the oneness of creation. This experience is often referred to as fana, which means annihilation or extinction. Fana is the experience of losing oneself in God and realizing that there is no separation between the self and the divine. Another important concept in Sufism is wahdat al-wujud, which means the unity of being. This concept emphasizes the idea that all beings are ultimately one with God, and that there is no separation between the Creator and the creation. This concept is often associated with the Sufi philosopher and poet Ibn Arabi, who wrote extensively about the unity of being. Ibn Arabi believed that every being is a manifestation of God, and that the divine is present in everything. The concept of wahdat al-wujud is often contrasted with the concept of wahdat al-shuhud, which means the unity of witnessing. This concept emphasizes the idea that while all beings are ultimately one with God, they also have individual identities and perspectives. This concept is often associated with the Sufi poet Rumi, who wrote extensively about the relationship between the individual self and the divine. From a non-dual perspective, the concepts of tawhid, fana, wahdat al-wujud, and wahdat al-shuhud all point to the idea that there is no separation between the self and the divine. They emphasize the idea that the individual self is ultimately an illusion, and that the true nature of the self is one with the divine. Sufis use various spiritual practices to help them experience this non-dual reality. One of these practices is dhikr, which means remembrance or recollection. Dhikr involves the repetition of the names of God or phrases from the Quran as a way to focus the mind and connect with the divine. Another important practice in Sufism is meditation or muraqabah. This practice involves sitting in silence and focusing the mind on the divine. The goal of meditation is to quiet the mind and experience the divine directly. Sufi poetry is also an important aspect of the tradition. Sufi poets such as Rumi, Hafiz, and Attar wrote extensively about the divine and the relationship between the self and the divine. Their poetry often emphasizes the idea that the divine is present in all things, and that the goal of spiritual practice is to realize this non-dual reality. In conclusion, the concept of non-duality is central to Islam Sufism. Through practices such as dhikr, meditation, and poetry. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to help grow the channel. More videos will be coming soon.